What's good, YouTube? Masex back with another video, and we're continuing the series for the positional projections. We're looking at the interior defensive lineman. Interior defensive lineman, the value has steadily rose, I'd say, over the last 10 years. Since the mid-2010s, I think the NFL's identified what kind of advantage it holds when you can generate pressure right up the middle. And so that's why we're looking at interior defensive linemen today, the top 5. We've looked at corners, edge rushers in past videos. So if you haven't checked those out, definitely be sure to take a look at that after this video. If you're new to the channel, if you haven't already, definitely like and subscribe to the video, as this helps the video spread to others that are football fans just as you. Appreciate the support to this point. So at this moment, we're going to go ahead and hop straight to it. Without further ado, let's get to it. All right, starting our way at number 5 with Derrick Harmon, defensive tackle out of Oregon, listed at 6'5", 310 pounds, formerly of Michigan State, transferred over to Oregon, and it was a great decision for him. Having an excellent year and only continues to raise his stock. Projected as a 3-tech at the next level. Very impressive size, as I mentioned, 6'5", 310, which is very imposing. Plays with good leverage most of the time. He can get a little inconsistent, as many guys will at his size, at his height. But all in all, he plays with good leverage and power. He can play on the interior. He can move all over the defensive line, if we're being honest, which adds great value and versatility for a multitude of defensive schemes at the NFL level, which is a premium. And a 3-tech that can get after the passer is definitely of value, and we're seeing that over and over. The more I watch film on Derrick Harmon, the more I feel confident that he could be a consistent starter at the next level. I'm still not at that point where I project an all-pro player, but at the same time, I do see somebody that's really good and can play in the NFL for a very long time. My number 4 interior defensive lineman is TJ Sanders out of South Carolina. This redshirt sophomore is listed at 6'4", 298 pounds. Definitely overachieved in his career. Coming out of high school, he was a 3-star prospect. Outperformed expectations, and you love that. Exceptional length, long arms, provides leverage advantages, and that's going to also help him disrupt passing lanes, which is going to enhance his trench battle. And watching film on Sanders, I've seen him make plays in both the pass and the run. So you gotta love that he's going to play both. He's going to add that value in both the passing game and the running game. Now, he's listed at sub 300, in which we all know that a lot of times schools are going to add inches and they're going to add weight to a prospect. So I am curious to see what his true listing is. So he may need to add mass. He may need to add strength, especially if he's going to play in the NFL trenches. And as I mentioned earlier, with guys 6'4", 6'5", they tend to play high, especially when fatigue starts to kick in. You do that in the NFL, you're only going to get driven backward. Of course, that's something, and that's coachable. And as I mentioned a second ago, his value's only increasing, so I'm curious to see how high he goes in the draft. At number 3, we have Kenneth Grant, interior defensive lineman out of Michigan, listed at 6'2", 339 pounds. I mentioned in Mel Kiper's Big Board video, he's a native of Indiana, so he's somebody I've known since his senior year of high school. When you're a starter for a dominant defense and a national champion like Michigan was, it's going to boost the stock of pretty much anybody on the defense. That's for good reason. At 340 pounds, he moves very well. He's very athletic. I fully expect him to run sub 5 flat, which is very impressive for a guy that size. And then he uses that on the field because he plays with motor, and because he's so big and athletic, he can play in multiple schemes. And yeah, Mason Graham gets a lot of the love, but Kenneth Grant at the same time has shown over and over again that he can hold his own as well. All right, going on to number 2, I have Walter Nolen out of Ole Miss, listed at 6'3", 305 pounds. I project Nolen as a 3-tech, maybe even a 5-tech. A lot of skill, former 5-star recruit from Powell High School. I remember the hype back in the day. Was part of that Texas A&M historical recruiting class, but just like everybody from that recruiting class, he eventually transferred to Ole Miss, which is where he's at now. and has had a hell of a career, especially this year. Explosive first step. I think he has maybe one of the more athletic first steps in the entire class. Can play anywhere, honestly, even out to the edge. I've seen him make plays, and he has a good enough first step where he's giving tackles a lot of havoc. I do want to see him improve his bag a little bit more, having a counter move, which you're definitely going to need at the NFL level. I've seen him get stuck a lot after his initial move doesn't work, and then it's generally just a standstill. But all in all, Walter Nolen has the talent to be an all-pro like defensive tackle. And my number one interior defensive lineman is Mason Graham. No surprise there, listed at 6'3", 320 pounds, out of Michigan, projected as a 3-tech, probably one of the better interior defensive linemen over the last few years. He can pretty much do anything. He has the athleticism, the skill, the motor, plays all over that formerly John Harbaugh defense, and he's going to go to the NFL. And I think right away he's going to be a starter and somewhat of an impact player as a rookie. Interior defensive linemen generally take a few years to really mesh and get their feet wet and get that comfort level, but I think Mason Graham is one of those, like a Jalen Carter, that can come in rotation and make plays in the run and in the pass. Very consistent resume, has the pedigree, the background, everything that you want to see. No prospect is perfect. Sometimes tends to rely more on his strength than technique, but all in all, Mason Graham is the consensus number one interior defensive lineman in this class. And in many boards that you're going to see, he's the overall number one or number two defensive prospect in this entire class. He has all pro written all over him. All right, there you have it. Top 5 interior defensive linemen. Pretty decent class overall. The NFL values 3-techs. It's only going to continue to improve with all the rule changes that continue to happen in favor of the offense. Nothing like a 3-tech generating pressure right up the middle in the QB's face, and it can really mess up an offense as a whole. So to me, it makes perfect sense. But if you made it this far in the video, I deeply appreciate it. Be on the lookout for the next positional projection. It's college football playoff time at the time of this recording, so what a fun time to be a college football fan. But like I said, subscribe, like, and comment some of your favorite players. I'm definitely curious to hear that. But all in all, I'm out of here, and I'll see y'all in the next video.